All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Collecting Profit. Thank you so much for coming this week. Much appreciate everybody's, support they've been given. The show and everything. Episode 10 already. It's hard to
Yep.
believe. It's been 2.5 months, but it's been going great and everything. We got a very special guest tonight. Someone that I've been watching a bunch, been looking forward to
Mhm.
this because he's like, he's in the game that, I know myself and Anthony want to, get into. Like we
Mhm.
said, it's, the bulk listing and using AI and stuff. So we're gonna get to that. Before we get going, let me pass over to my partner over here, introduce himself, and then we will hand the floor to our guest to say hello to everyone.
Yeah. So, what's up, everybody? It's Anthony once again from Picksburgh. Appreciate you joining us. Quick housekeeping thing before we kind of get rolling. Just want to make an announcement that last week we had two winners of sports card show tickets to the sports card super show that's coming here to Pittsburgh at the end of this month. It's the 25th of March. It was Gate City Paul and Art Mansuko. Both of you guys won. Just send me a DM on Instagram at Picksburgh74. You'll see it scrolling below, and I will either ship your tickets or we can arrange to meet at the show, and I'll give you your tickets. We will also be giving away some tickets at the end of this show, so Michael will give away the details on that later on in the broadcast. So make sure you guys stay tuned.
Excellent. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much. And we give you our special guest, Jason from JMac Sports Cards, sir. Welcome. The floor is yours.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity to have me on. I was pretty excited. Anthony reached out on Instagram and you shot me the invitation, and been looking forward to doing more collabs and getting out on some live streams with some other folks. I did a couple recently on my channel. I don't do them as often as I should, but the hobby's great. Love mixing it up, meeting new people, and and just chatting it up. Love the hobby.
Well, if you ever want us, let us know. We gladly go ahead and come on your channel. Show the support right back at you.
For sure. For sure.
So I mean, to go ahead and get in it, I mean, one of the things that drew me to you was, the using a scanner and AI, for bulk listing, from that standpoint. But before that, before you got into that kind of stuff, when did you get into the hobby? How'd you get into the hobby? Were you out and then came back in? And then how did you go from, I don't know, were you always a seller, or how did you go from collector to seller and stuff like that?
Right. I started, pardon, something in my throat. Started collecting in the junk wax era, and like a lot of people, and kind of discontinued during like high school, college age years, and but once I got a career going again, probably 25, 30 years old, I was back, but not like we're doing now, not this level of collecting, but always buying a box or two here or there, and it was more about getting some, ripping some wax, over the years, but it was good. I came back like most people, like fully engaged during the COVID era.
Yep.
But early, and very early. But like I said, I had because I've been ripping out, and I kept a lot of what I have been ripping over the years. I had some good stuff already, ready to go. Some KD, Steph rookies, and everything from junk wax, a lot of Jordans, and tons of stuff. And so I started pretty much right away. As soon as shows started opening up, I started setting up at shows in my local area, which I see W Vogs in the chat.
Yes.
He's in Charlotte area. So what's up? What's up, W Vogs? And so and initially it was doing that pretty heavy, but even over the years, so I look back at my eBay account, it was active since 2009. So I started selling some, and it wasn't just sports cards. I would sell like, old smartphones, old cell phones. When I'm trading up, getting a new cell phone, I would sell the old cell phone on eBay. But but I was also selling cards on on eBay too. So since '09, I've been a reseller. Again, more of a just it as a little bit of side income, nothing like I'm doing now. um, but yeah, and then so when the hobby started slowing down a little bit, I transitioned to trying to figure out a way to really go hard online and not in shows as much. And so that was what had me going down the rabbit hole. I was finding a bunch of I even started, and now I got a lot of resellers in my feed on YouTube. And so and there was a few that I had never even heard of in sports cards, that there were smaller channels and stuff that I latched on to learn about it. And yeah, and so that's what kicked off the bulk reseller business idea. And yeah, so we're underway now, and I'm up to 7,000 listings on my eBay store.
Wow.
Averaging probably 15, 20 sales a day right now. It's still, listen, you can't, here's advice to anyone. And end of the day, you're going to have to work. Like especially someone who wants to go full-time into it, you're going to have to work probably more than you work at a full-time job to make it really work. So like this past week has been, they call it in the reseller community sourcing. So
Yeah.
that will be buying collections or buying, getting deals. So this week was it was a week. It was a week of a lot of sources. So I bought 2 collections this week, and it takes a lot of time to, and where I'm at, I'm not in a big city, so usually I got to drive an hour or 2 to go even look at something, and it might be it might be not worth my time when I get there. So I could waste 4 hours, looking at a collection. But I bought 2 this week, so pretty stoked about it. But now then you go get it, and now the work begins, right?
Right. So
was there any specific card that made you like pop on either one of those collections?
It's funny. Like I've been hustling hard too on that end of it, trying to break into buying collections and get good deals too, and that's hard too. People think, I just throw cash, but you gotta be real selective in buying collections and buying stuff. And so anyway, I've been looking a lot for several months. I put an ad in the newspaper. I put a Facebook Marketplace ad up saying buying, and you get so much junk wax, and you get so much, not very good collections that for a while I just was like, I'm not getting it. I think let me see. I think I've looked at, I don't know, 4 or 5 over the past couple months and not bought any, and then I'll get some good leads, and then that person will flake out, but these 2 particular ones, one of them it started off with, it was just a big St. Louis Cardinals lot, just Cardinals. And I'm not even a big baseball guy, but it was just a bunch of refractors. It was a bunch of Pujols. It was a bunch of Hall of Famers, and good, it's just cool cards. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. You don't see this a lot on Facebook Marketplace. And it was a reasonable price for the cards lot, the St. Louis Cardinals lot. So I was like, reached out. I said, I'll be interested. I'd like to see more picks. How many autos are in the lot? And there was, probably 10 autos, nothing real big, but there was a lot of short print cards, like 50, number to 50 or less, and older stuff that was numbered to 50 or less. So I'll probably show you some here as we talk a little later. I'll show you a couple cool ones. But so anyway, yeah, so we started working a deal for that. And so the guy worked during the day. I'd ask for pictures. He'd send them at night. And then the next day, and what it wound up leading it to was he said, well, I got some more baseball, not just Cardinals. Then he said, I got some football, would you be interested? I was like, yes and yes.
Yeah.
So it took two more nights of him sending pictures again each night, you know. And it turned out really like the best lot was the Cardinals lot, but for bulk, I just bought it all.
Yeah.
And it turned out having a bunch of you know, good Mike Trouts, not rookies, but like the Rookie Gold Cup and like 2012 Prism Mike Trout and some second year Trouts, a bunch of second year Trouts and stuff like that. And so that was you know, and he, like I said, he actually was more reasonable on the other stuff than the Cardinal stuff. So we it was a pretty decent deal. I made a video, I'll drop it soon on it. Yeah, and then the other guy reached out from that Facebook Marketplace ad, first one that was actually legitimate. And I purchased that today. It was a really more of an ultra modern lot with a bunch of you know, young quarterbacks and young stuff like that. But not phenomenal, but it's it was a good. I told him, I was like, I won't pay strong on it because it's ultra modern. And I said you know, the prices go like this every week. So and you know, he was like, yeah, I need cash, so I'll sell it to you. So yeah, it's about getting into the right price is what is the determination.
Is there specific things you look for, or is it just all about margins, like when you're trying to source for your store?
Mostly, I really try to get. I actually prefer like collections that have lots of retired players in it, you know, and good players and Hall of Famers. Honestly, because that way there's not much risk once it's purchased, right? If you agree on a fair price on a collection that has a lot of proven stuff in it, then you know, it's not like that stuff's going to be going down. That guy's not having a bad week or month or year. You know what I mean? He's already retired. He's already chalked. So, and then, but if there is you know, a bunch of unproven, if there's unproven players and newer stuff mixed into a collection like that, I'll buy it. But that's usually my qualifier. This one I bought, like I said today, was mostly ultra modern, but it was just such a good price. It was about margins on that one. But like if I were to categorize what I'm looking for, it would be, I mean, really preferably if I can get vintage in it, that would be number one.
Yeah.
But usually you can't, or it's too overpriced. So then number two will be, well, then I just want cool cards like that Cardinal lot with, you know, with like Pujols and Yadier and Molina and, you know, Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, and then there's cool cards of those guys.
Do you find it's worth grabbing vintage, even if it's like the common cards, like if it's old enough?
Oh yeah. Well,
what do you consider what do you consider vintage cards?
79 and back is vintage. Will be considered vintage.
Okay.
So 80 up is modern. 80 to, I don't know what the cutoff for ultra modern is, but 03 or something. I don't know what it is, but so you know, so yeah, so 79, a lot of 70s stuff. I've got a lot of 70s football, 70, 71, 69. And I sell, if you like, I do reels I was doing them every day, but it just became too much. So I'm not doing them every day no more. But probably at least 30 or 40% of what I sell is the vintage stuff I got, you know. That stuff, that's the stuff that sells. People are always set building, and so yeah, it's like that. I would prioritize that way up higher than anything else if I could get my hands on it. But it's just people aren't selling it in bulk. But I bought a 2-row from a dealer. I went to Kansas. My last show was in Kansas City, Missouri, and there was a ultra modern dealer who had a box of vintage. I said, "There's my target." So if you had a show, and there's a dealer that's an ultra modern, a modern dealer, and they got vintage, that's where you could go to try to make a deal on it. And I bought his whole box, and I wind up, man, I've made so much money off that box of cards. It had a lot of the league leaders like you know, Willie Mays, you know, Willie McCovey, Hank Aaron, but like later year stuff, like like 60s, late 60s, early 60s, whatever the cutoff is. And a lot of it was 65, 66. And a lot of those got, you know, 2 to 3 Hall of Famers on one card, you know.
Oh yeah.
How do you
no, and so
foresee? I was going to say with a lot of the stuff that's like super mass produced today, how do you foresee like say inserts of like LeBron James or Steph Curry or like Giannis? How do you see those holding up compared to like say the Michael Jordans or Charles Barkley's or like Shaq's? Like cuz it was super like overpopulated then too. Do you think like
right.
those will still
Well,
like be valuable in
yeah.
the long run?
Well, I guess you got to kind of think of it more like like '86 Fleer Jordan wasn't as mass produced as the Shaq era was. That was the junk wax era. 90,
Yeah.
90 really kicking it off was really like 89, 90 was like where it got like crazy. So
Yeah.
the '86 Fleer and even '88 Fleer, not too bad. So there's you got to understand when those peaks and valleys were and are. So yeah, because then when it tapered off, the junk wax era in '95, 4 and 5, people started losing interest, and then but then so from like '96 was Kobe year,
Mm-hmm.
'96 to '99, there wasn't a lot of products produced, and that stuff is very rare. So I personally think like a lot of these guys like Kobe, LeBron, and a lot. Well, LeBron that year they started making a lot of products because of LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
So his flagship stuff will always probably do well, but there's so much fluff with LeBron, like like when Jordan retired, they made all these collector sets. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So when LeBron came in the league, they made all these rookie premier sets and premier. So that stuff probably won't hold up at all any value. But let's see.
But it's so different also because when you look at just those two, right? LeBron still has more than one rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
Where Michael only really has the one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And Jordan even he outsells a lot of players when he had inserts when they were in those years in the late '90s. All those inserts, the Jordan inserts, Jordan's just different. So he's his own market for like really honestly.
Yeah, he's insane. I was watching a video, LeBron versus Michael Jordan, from the perspective of like a LeBron fan, because I'm a LeBron fan too. Like, but I fully admit Jordan's the GOAT. But like LeBron's my guy because I'm a Cavs fan. But it was super interesting because they went like with all of these categories that would make somebody a GOAT, like scoring, their win percentage, their shot percentage, their like way they help facilitate teammates, all that stuff. Jordan literally won every single like statistical category that they put them to in, except for longevity, because LeBron's played for 20 plus years. Right. But even like on the longevity side, like Michael Jordan played almost every one of the years he played 80 games, which is like insanely like rare, especially in today's NBA.
Oh yeah.
When you talk about sourcing, so obviously you live in the Midwest now. You said you were in North Carolina. Were you sourcing the same way in North Carolina before you moved, or is it different? Now.
And let's see, in North Carolina, I wasn't doing bulk, and it was I was doing so many shows, and I was in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, and it was like a show every weekend in that area. So it's I've actually learned that it's probably one of the more robust sports car markets. Like there's so many shows and so many dealers. There's a lot of good dealers, and because what I started, branching out a little bit, going to some bigger shows, and then a lot of the Charlotte dealers go to a lot of the shows. So they got a really. So it was just always at shows when I was there mostly. But when I moved here, it was it was harder, and there's not as many shows, But I had also when I first moved here, we bought a house, and I almost kind of put not really collecting, but I put the reselling part I put it on hold for a little bit because we had to remodel the house. So it was about a 3 or 4 months where I basically took off. And so, but no, yeah. So it was just learning the area and trying to find, how to do it here. And it was, I still like that Kansas City show was a great show. I just because I wasn't finding collections, I just wound up taking um, uh, quite a bit of cash, and I was like, I'm going to dealers and I'm buying bulk deals. I'm gonna try to buy a table. I tried to buy a table out, but
Oh, wow.
it was a girl that was getting out of the hobby. She was going to school in New York, and she had some good stuff. But I bought a nice 3-row box of all autos and patches, and I mean, I'm still selling that stuff right now, like all day long.
Awesome.
But also, I still had and have a whole lot of inventory, so I don't really have to get, the only reason I source stuff still regularly, like at least every couple months, is to get fresh inventory,
Right.
Yeah.
to get my hands on some new stuff, some new, like, kind of more liquid, good players that, because, eventually you'll sell out of, a lot of your really good stuff will sell.
Yeah, and like really good stuff I found like helps drive people to like my average stuff too. Like,
Exactly.
they might pick up one of my like 20 LaMelo Ball base cards if like they're already picking up another card. So
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the bulk thing is more of a hoping to for it to fill in the holes of, so I'm always also when I source, I take out enough and get a graded order going on every one. So I'm
Oh, really?
and I'd love to get every month having a graded order come back. So that's also something that'll then it just just gets really snowball going. Gets a snowball going.
Yeah.
So
So did the move help you or kind of influence you to go the bulk route?
yeah, well, it was so it was kind of I made a video about it that like how much cash do you need to be a
Yep.
full-time reseller.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched it, but
I did.
it was a good video.
yeah.
1,000
So it
bucks.
was
Let me grab a
we
link
moved
for that for the
we
chat.
kind yeah. And it was, and basically the end of the story with it all is, if we kind of, when we moved here, it was sort of like we kind of financially free to a good deal, a good extent. So we bought our house with cash here, and so we don't have a mortgage and stuff like that. So that was the moral of my video was that to be able to do it full time, to do what you love, then you need to get some stuff in order. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get your money right. So so we did
Yeah,
that.
there's a little ad revenue.
Uh-huh.
So you decide to go bulk. When you thought about going bulk, did you immediately think I need to go the scanner AI route, or was there, hey, I'm going to try and do this myself, my phone and my fingers, just
Because I've done that route too. Because like I said, even when I was dealing at shows, I would still always in between always list two, and I knew that there was no way I could list. And once I started learning about it, and I think it's almost getting scary because I'm starting to see so many people interested in it. I'm like, is it going to be so many people that do we all like just cancel each other out? I don't know. We'll see. But then it will become a game of who's got the best stuff,
right.
right?
It's still going to be still going to be, like you said, still, look, from reselling some other stuff. Anthony and I come from the reselling area also, where we first started, where we did, clothes and coffee mugs and stuffed animals and CDs and all that kind of stuff, and kind of,
Yeah.
have moved over to cards and everything. And the truth of the money is, you make your money when you buy, not when you sell.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, there's a big channel, a big reseller channel called Buy at the Right Price. That's the name of their channel, and that's
really?
That's what it's all about.
Video games and stuff like that, mainly.
Yeah, buy at the right price. That's what they do mostly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he had some cool videos.
Yeah, he's a big channel.
So when you decided to go bulk, what made you decide to use Car Dealer Pro?
I tested it out and with the 7-day trial, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is great. Especially again, it comes back to um knowing what I've learned is using all these tools is you use them as the tool that they're best equipped to do the job for. So with Car Dealer Pro, it does really well on not new stuff like anything over 2020. If you're just your whole inventory is all 2020, 2021, you're gonna hate Car Dealer Pro, and that's what people get in my comments. But if you got even that baseball, like I scanned a lot of that baseball, and you can even mix it up. It was all like different sets and everything, and I listed 60 cards today after I got home from buying that collection, and it got every one of them right. Now you always got to vet it. Sometimes it'll pick a wrong player or pick a wrong parallel, something like that, and but. So anyway, I know, and I get people on all platforms. They tell me about Cronzio as well, and I'm gonna eventually try it out. But I went to the site, I've downloaded the app, the desktop app. It's just clunky. It's like you know, it's just Car Dealer Pro got acquired by Colex, and they're putting investment capital into it, and it's just where it was or where it is at. It's only going to get better. It's not, and so they got capital involved, investment capital in it. Where Cronzio, it's like this. I don't know if it's Ukraine or Yugoslavian guy. It seems like it's one developer that developed it, and he's not from here. And it might be some of the craziest AI in the world. It's just not user friendly, and
Right.
it just seems like it's just a one guy show, that's doing it. So, so far it hasn't been for me, but I think it's cheaper, and I think you can probably get more cards scanned using Cronzio. So I'm not bashing it. It's probably really great. I haven't fully vetted it yet myself. But just off the onset of researching it between Car Dealer Pro just seems a lot more professional. I'm willing to pay the monthly fee on it. And I've just had a great experience with Car Dealer Pro. So,
Well, I know when I was looking, I mean, I just watching videos. Car Dealer Pro did seem to, like you said, the clunkiness, but Car Dealer Pro did not seem that way at all. It seemed more user friendly. Like you really could, but get the software, get your scanner, and it seems as though they're really like the learning curve is not huge. Where when I watched the other ones, it seemed like wow, you really have to do a bunch of stuff and really pay attention to things. It just seemed, like you said, clunkier, just not as easy.
yeah, and there's this one guy, and I'm gonna probably butcher what he was trying to tell me, but there's like I don't know, like you could use some of these like JavaScript formulas with Excel and Cronzio. I mean, see, if I got to do all that, why do I want to? That's not. If I got to be a developer to develop on an app that someone supposedly I'm paying that they developed, I don't want to do that. I ain't got that kind of time, energy, or mental capability.
I mean, it's really like going to a restaurant and they just bring the ingredients out and say, "Hey, go ahead and cook and have fun."
Yeah, and what I've really learned well, not most, but something I really like about Car Dealer Pro is that they build into it the comps. Like you click a link, your card comes up, you got recent sales and active listings, so you can see what the card is selling for, and you can see what the current active listings are. And while you're on that card or you got it pulled up, so you don't got to go to eBay. You click the link, and it filters to sold listings already for you. So in other words, like to me, like even if I'm not, even if I was going to do 21, 22 Prism with Car Dealer Pro, I know it's not going to get the cards right or the parallels right, but you can still upload to Car Dealer Pro. You can still use it as a listing tool, right? because
Yeah.
you could go in and fill it all out and then download the Excel and upload your listings, and you probably you know, I'm sure you'd probably cut your time in half of what it would take to do it individually, even though it gets a lot of them wrong. You see what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah.
that's what I've learned. I've learned it's like a tool, basically an eBay listing tool. You know,
Can you
whether it gets
use
it right or not.
Can you use this software without like one of the fancy, Fujitsu or auto feed scanners? Like if I say I had a Google Drive full of pictures and I wanted to take like the 1,000+ pictures I have and just say, okay, Car Dealer Pro, like find what these are and get them listed for me. Would it do that, or is it something to where it has to like manually read the card and that's how it finds it?
If you took the pictures good enough where they were almost cropped, like just straight like of the card,
Yeah.
with your phone, you take it like right up close, and you basically, or you set it up on a tripod where it's looks like a scan, it will work.
Nice.
Yeah, if it was cropped correctly, but just the scanning thing, that's like it's so easy to do with with the penny sleeves too. So
the time it would take me to even upload the pictures, like I could very easily have just dropped and have it done it for me. But yeah, I was just curious because I have a ton of pictures because I'm doing it the old-fashioned way right now with a phone and uploading to Google Drive to get them on my computer and stuff like that. So I was just wondering, like the stockpile of stuff I have that I haven't gotten listed yet, if that was compatible. Michael, are you able to click the link I put on there for his latest video about being a full-time reseller and everything? I don't think it's shared publicly because I'm not modded. What's up, Adam? Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you being here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, son of a gun. Let's fix the other thing first.
But yeah, I mean, you could try it, Anthony, with a 7-day trial for free.
You're a moderator.
Cool. I'll just read it. That way you don't have to worry about
it. Obviously, when you go to Car Dealer Pro, they recommend the, Fujitsus. What did you find somebody else who was using the Epson? Did you happen to have one and said, hey, let me try that and see what goes on?
Yeah, a couple other channels had, actually, Stack and Sale made a video on the Epson scanner. He returned it. He's like, I don't like it because he couldn't get, he didn't figure out what I figured out with it, to take the wheels out. So, I mean, but I was like, at that price point, I said, let me try it anyway. And plus I had a lot of vintage at that time, and vintage, you can scan it without penny sleeves because it's so thin. It's a paper thin product,
right?
And it does fine. Most other stock anything new stock cards, it's thicker. So, and then another channel, Apex Cards. I don't think he had my exact Epson scanner, but he uses an Epson scanner as well. Basically, end of the day, any top feed document scanner would work. If it's a top feed type of document scanner, it would probably work. I mean, don't like hold me to that, but that's it. It's just the concept of that you can put the cards in top and get them through there. So, because if it'll run pictures through it, it'll probably run a sports card through it.
Oh, okay.
So Epson's just tied in with Burbank. They're really trying to be the de facto sports card deal. You know what I mean? Like I said, but we were talking offline. Those guys. I've reached out to Fujitsu. I was trying to get some type of deal where I could get my hands on one, number one, and number two, get some sort of affiliate program set up so that people could get one cheaper through a link, that I could share. And, we weren't able to come to terms or an agreement on anything. So, hobby companies are cheap. They want to be kings of the market, but they don't use the platforms. Like I said, like even Car Dealer Pro, like the videos I made on Car Dealer Pro have got like 5-10 times the views that they're, stuff has gotten on their own channel. So they should probably reach out to influencers, and partner with them and give some kind of affiliate program so you could get it cheaper too. But the hobby's cheap, man.
Oh yeah.
It makes no sense that they don't want to do that. Like that just seems like a worthwhile investment, especially like a guy like you whose content is literally about like the cards you buy and sell.
Right.
Like you're the perfect person to give one to.
Well, the Amazon, like, so the Fujitsu guy he was like, oh, you must be you got a reseller license. I was like, no, I don't, because I shared with him, and I'll share with y'all. I've got affiliate links of the scanners and stuff, and like 20 or 30 of those Epson scanners have sold through my affiliate links, through Amazon. Anyone can sign up for Amazon affiliate links. And then, then there's no extra charge for people using your link. But if they do use your link, you get a little kickback. So, but I shared with the Fujitsu guy. I was like, yeah, see, like in 2 months, but there has been 20 of the Epson scanners sold through, my channel. And I was like, and so it would be beneficial for you, to use influencers like, myself or someone else, and then to have an affiliate program. So I don't know, maybe they'll catch on when Fanatics will, 10x this hobby, and, then some more money will come into it. We'll see.
Now, you don't just use that, you use an overhead scanner too, don't you?
Yeah, that came into play with like a lot of patch cards and all that kind of stuff that you can't run that through the Epson scanner. I don't even know if you can with the Fujitsu. The Fujitsu folks would say you could, but I don't know if I would.
Right.
So there was like, I had a lot of a stack, a few stacks of patches, patch autos, and then and slabs that, I was like, I need another tool. And then that was on like $100. I've actually seen that thing has sold out on Amazon. It's not even, so a lot of people bought that too, and so it sold out. But there's others.
Is that one of the ones with like the mechanical head that like you just flat lay something and it just does it, or is it one of the bed scanners?
Yeah, it's just this thing, man. It opens up.
Oh, okay.
It's got
those are pretty cool.
12 megapixel camera, and it sits and scans like that, because everyone was, when I first started, doing it, like, everyone was like, dude, you're gonna scratch the cards, blah 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 blah, with the document scanner, and that's why I was trying to figure out how to do it with penny sleeves, because the cards aren't damaged with penny sleeves on them, but people were like, you get a flatbed scanner. I was like, man, flatbed, you might as well just take pictures with your phone if you're going to use a flatbed scanner. It takes as much time or more time.
Yeah, because the constant flipping, opening, and flipping, opening and flipping.
That's the main reason I do my phone, is just because it's super easy. And then, like, if I want to decide, like, hey, I'm like on the toilet, I want to try to list a card, boom, it's right there on my phone.
Right.
Like all of the pictures.
A little TMI, but
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. We all do it. This thing, it'll even like you could turn on auto scan, and you could just pop the card down, turn it over, and every time it registers it, it'll scan. So you could go.
That's really cool.
This would scan as fast as the scanner. Now I will say that, because this is, I don't know where it's made. Probably Chinese, probably, and the images are good, but they're not like, it's not an iPhone grade picture. Does the job, is fine. It's $100. So my whole setup so it's $300. This is $100, $400, and then just the supplies, and bubble mailers, and there you go. So probably I got this whole setup with all of the supplies cheaper than buying one Fujitsu, right? So if I ever become a big baller making, 20 grand a month on eBay, I may buy a Fujitsu, but you see where I'm at. This is a good setup for someone to do it, economically.
Yeah. So with bulk and 7,000 plus listings, what kind of inventory system do you have?
Well, that's where too probably having some, someone else working with you is clutch, because I started trying to do it all myself, and then my wife started coming helping organize, and then she kind of so she uh all my whole collection she is organizing on the back end of it
Oh,
over
wow.
time, and so but all she's doing is she just organizes it by product and year.
Okay.
Right? And then I'll get the 2 and 3 row boxes, and then if she don't know players and stuff, there, so then I'll take, if it's, let's call it, 97 upper deck basketball, right? Or 96, 97 basketball. I'll grab the stack that she sorted out of the collection, and then I'll go through it and say, this, out of all of these, this should go on eBay. The rest are just they're commons I'm not listing, But pretty much I list every rookie, even if it's a bad rookie, because there's collectors for everybody.
Yeah.
So even rookies that didn't pan out, I list them on eBay, and some people go back and they just buy because they went to West Virginia University, or they went to Ohio State, or they went, and they made it to the pros, but they weren't great, or some small school, they went to SMU and they made it to NFL, so they're only NFL players, something like that.
Do you
People
have
still buy rookies.
Start price for those type of cards that like might not be very valuable, but it's like I'm still going to list it because somewhere out there this guy has a fan?
Yeah, I don't list anything below $199.
Okay,
but
is that
do
like
free
with free shipping, or is that
I
like
do free
$199 plus
shipping.
shipping?
Yeah, and I will never accept an offer less than $150. And
Okay.
then so sometimes you see me sell a few cards at $150, but it's not that often, because end of the day it's cost 60 cents to ship the card.
Yeah,
eBay has a 30-cent fee, transaction fee, plus the 12%, so it's like 112. So you might make 20 cents on a card at 150.
yeah,
And so that's bare minimum. So in those kind of cases, you're hoping they pick up. And eBay it's a crazy place, because you'll get people that'll message you and they'll be like I had a guy, I bought a collection that had a lot of Jeters in it, and I listed every single Jeter, Derek Jeter, that I have,
yeah.
commons, everything. And he it was all the same card. It was all, I think, 04 or 05 tops Jeter, which is like way far from his rookie year.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
The guy just liked the card, and he's like, I want all those, and he said we take $10 for them. There was only 6 of them listed, but they're all the same card. So I did the math. I was like, that's 167. I said, sure, man. Yeah. I said, just go to each listing. And here's what I do, where a lot of people, I've heard other people, they do, because you can list a card like that, right? And then you could say, I got quantity of 6 on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one way you can list it. Well, I don't do that. I list all my cards, even multiples, because that way all 6 of them can get viewed, maybe at some point, if yeah, so it gets it gets exposure to all of those cards, whereas only one listing with 6 quantity won't get more. You won't get that much more traffic driven to you. But that may come to not being a good strategy when I got 100,000 cards listed.
I feel like cards might be like one of the few gray areas you can get away with that, because I know sometimes, like, say if I had like 2 of these Black Panther shirts, like both like XL, like a lot of times, unless it was like used or like a definitive like condition difference. And I think that's what's cool about cards, is like each one is so condition specific. You can get away with having like multiple like listings of the exact same item, and it's technically a completely different listing, because one might have a left corner ding, one might have a right corner ding, or X, Y, and Z, because so many people look at these things for gradability and stuff. So that's a great point. Because rather than competing against like Joe Blow, you're competing against yourself for that sale, which is even better.
That's 100%.
Yeah,
100%. And yeah, so that's something to think about. But and with vintage, to your point, it's 100%. And you got to make sure you get the right card with vintage. Like if you say you got 3 of the same card, one, and it takes a little bit of it takes some some time to really figure it out, So I try, because it will be very easy just to pick any one of the 6 Jeters,
Right, and just scan that one.
Well, what I'm saying is it will be easy. Like if one of the 6 Jeters sold, it'll be easy just to pick one of them. But I actually look at the image and try to locate that one card.
Right.
So that they're getting that card. But with vintage, it's very important to do that because people, there's a lot more variations with vintage. It'll be the centering or a corner tip, and vintage sells if it's poor, fair, poor. You know what I mean? 1 to 2s, even raw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because like you said, I mean, obviously, not talking, let's say, Mickey Mouse stuff, but you're right though. If you probably are looking at, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, a lot of those guys, people want to own,
the actual card,
that 1960, too, and like you said, they would rather, own it with a little ding that they can afford than not being able to, get it because they don't want the one that's, gonna look, immaculate. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, from that standpoint, especially with those type of cards that people will, and I think when you look at it from a standpoint, I think people are a little more forgiving with vintage cards than they are modern cards.
Yeah, well, there's set builders too that like when some vintage collectors start collecting, they start with a low grade, try to build a low grade set. If they're trying to do it on a budget, so they're trying to build the 63 tops, and they don't care if it's between 1 and 4, like on a grade scale. So that would be a low grade set that they build, and then they would try to cycle them out and get a better card on each one over time.
Right.
Those guys are meticulous, man. Those guys, because I deal with them at shows and stuff sometimes. I'm like, wow, man, they really do think everything through,
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've gone to shows and stuff, and you see the difference. I, not trying to be. It's not trying to stereotype or anything, but you see the difference between a vintage collector when they are sitting down looking at cards versus a modern guy, right? A modern guy just sits there, boom, 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 boom. They flip, flip, flip. A vintage guy takes it out. He's looking, turning around, looking at the angles of all the cards and everything. Where modern hunters, they sit there and they just, they rifle through a 2-row or a 3-row in, minutes. That'll take a vintage guy an hour.
Yeah, they usually pull up a chair. That's why they got chairs all around those vintage tables. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. I did just drop a link, guys, to JMac's eBay store. If anybody wants to go and support him for all of the good information he's dropped, you'll see all of the 7,000 plus cards he was telling us about listed to his eBay store.
So as you get, so obviously, this is, what you're going to do. It sounds like you plan on growing and so on and so forth. I know from watching your videos, you have your own, building in your backyard and stuff. Obviously, to growing, is it potentially getting a warehouse? Is it getting a storefront type thing? I mean, what are some of the things, you see your journey going towards?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm good through this year, maybe next year here, because I can continue to build shelves in here. I think I could expand. Like if it got big, I'm in a little area where I think I could. Me and my wife even talked about it. Possibly even opening up a shop local here, just really more for inventory housing and and have like kind of sparse hours, so I don't have to dedicate that much time to it. So in other words, it would be just sort of a, I don't know if you want to call it a shell business, but
No, but
But
you're
you
right. I
know,
mean, you have a storefront that you can invite people in because as you get a
yeah,
name, they're going to want to come and everything. But that's still not your main thing. I mean, even you look like you mentioned Burbank. Anthony used to live out in California, so he's been to Burbank and seen what they have and everything,
Disney
and
out there.
their store that they have from videos I've seen and listened to people talk, the store is very small in comparison to
the
what their,
warehouse.
Oh yeah,
eBay
the
business is.
warehouse
So
is where they do the bulk of the business out there.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
you know.
But yeah, that's far down the road to think about. I don't know if I don't even know if I'm still really wanting to commit to that, even if it were to come to that, because I just don't want to have to, open up shop every day, So I like the freedom of, you know,
Well, yeah, because
that
it's gonna be
that
hard to sort. It's gonna be hard to take a trip that's 3, 4, 5 hours. When you have a shop, because I'm sure at some point mentally you just start thinking, man, I'm here, the shop is closed. I'm here, the shop is closed, and that type of thing. So I agree. And then to your point also, the freedom that you have, you make your own hours, you put in your own time and everything. And you know, uh
hmm
that's one of the things that we like about the reselling, aspect.
Yeah,
yeah,
You get to do yourself. I mean, the great thing about cards is to your point, you can keep a ton of cards in a relatively small area.
small. Well, yeah, I mean, look, this is my processing stand. Look how small it is. I'll stack them up. When they sell in the morning, I'll get the whatever sold here, and then I'll start printing the labels, and then pull from right here. That's small. That's all I need. I mean, that would obviously grow as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's for reselling. Yeah, it's like that's why they created the eBay standard envelope program for sports cards because no other resellers they don't even, if you talk to other resellers about eBay standard, they don't even know what you're talking about.
Right.
They're like, what are you talking about? 60 cents? You could ship for 60 cents. But that's eBay created it for trading cards.
And that's been a big factor for me even buying. I'll look and I don't, someone can have a card for $2, but they'll have, $4 in change shipping. Where
Right.
someone else will have it for $3 and they'll use standard envelope and it'll either be free shipping or they might charge $1. Well, heck, I'll paid $4 rather than paying $6.
Well, that's the deceiving thing, and I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but that's the deceiving thing about about comps, right? Because a lot of cards, like you said, if they're like $5 cards, they sometimes $5 cards a lot of times will sell for 99 cent sold price, but like $5 shipping,
Yeah.
right? So it's still sold for $6, but then let's do a better example. Let's say a card sold for $5 and it shipped and it had like $5 shipping. So it's 10 people, someone's into that card for $10, right? Well, what do people always do? They want to buy it for $5, right? Well,
Yeah.
why was someone willing to pay $10 total all in on that card, right? Because they thought it was worth $10 plus taxes and fees and all that. So that's the thing that people don't like to hear that, especially at shows and things. And I don't bring it up at shows. I'll just sell it. I sell things for cheap at shows. I always bring $2 boxes, and it's always stuff that sells between $2 to $5, and I don't argue. And so in person, I don't make a big deal about that. But that's the reality of it. A lot of times, like you said, in days of old, lots of cards sold at 99 cents to $1 to $2. But then the shipping really made the card a $6 or $7 card.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is when you look though, there are still I don't understand why people don't use it. I don't understand what the negativity is about. I get the whole, the tracking is not, the best. I get that, but eBay doesn't hold you to that.
The worst is the people that don't do it, but then do it. If that makes sense, like they're charging you for like the actual bubble mailer, but then when you get it, it's like plain white envelope.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those are my pet peeve people.
Well, you can, yeah, you can sick eBay on them if people do that. You can actually, you can get but yeah, I'll tell you why. I know why that happens is because I mean the hobby is slow to change. The hobby, that's why grading these new grading companies, like, it's hard for anybody to catch on and really break out because of any area I've ever been attached or associated with, the hobby does not like to change. They're slow to change.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Absolutely.
So that's why those old school guys. No, I only ship first class with bubble mailer and bubble, but I don't know. I'm not using eBay no more. They start complaining about eBay because you're probably not selling much because you're not using the eBay standard envelope program, and everybody and the people that are selling cards. You're not because you're still trying to charge $4.50 for shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's and like I said, what surprises me is when I look how you still see. I mean, there are people that I mean, they don't have 20,000 or but they'll have 1,000 cards listed, 1,500 cards listing, and they're still doing normal $4.50 shipping, $5 shipping and stuff, and you don't know how it's getting. That's the one thing that gets me. It's I I don't mind the envelope. I mean, I will ask a question every now and again. Hey, did you mail it? If it's been, 3 or 4 days over the stated time it's supposed to be there.
Right.
But I mean, I'll tell you right now, I mean, I've been buying with it and I've been selling with it. And on both sides, I've only had one card on either side that I had an issue with. I mean, I guess, again, now I'm not a 30 cards a day, guy or anything like that, but I've still had, good success with it. So I'm going to keep using it. I see no reason, to change and stuff.
Speaking
think
of
I've sold.
stuff you guys are using, if anybody's watching this on replay, a lot of the stuff that we talked about, the different scanners, Car Dealer Pro, there's links in the chat. So if you pull up the live chat, even on replay, you guys should be able to get to affiliate links that I posted directly from JMac's channel. So anything you guys would get or whatever goes to benefit him as well. So just a heads up on that.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I was gonna say I've sold probably 1,000 cards in the past 2.5 months. Most of them through the program, and I think I've had 4. It was like a string of them, like over Christmas, and when it was Christmas, New Year, like 3 of them got lost. I think some people. It's one of those things I'm trying to learn is sometimes do they get it? It shows delivered, but they still say they didn't get it. Well, what the thing with the eBay program, the standard envelope is it's insured anyway. If they make a big fuss about it, you just refund them and then you file a claim. So I've had 4 cases that I've refunded the buyer, and and I don't make a big deal out of it. I just like, yeah, sure, man. I always try to say, maybe try to wait. I'll say wait at least another week. And then if you don't see it, just open the case. I'll refund you. It's insured. And you as a seller, you got to wait whatever the date of the sale was. You got to wait 30 days later to file the claim. And then you get refunded pretty much. So all 4 got refunded. So you can't lose. It's a you can't lose type of program, really.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not selling cards over $20, because they only insure it up to 20.
Right. It's I mean, it really has. It was a fantastic move by eBay to do.
Absolutely.
Right? It really was. It opened up that the bulk seller, the set builder guy to shop on eBay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Plus,
it really did.
It eliminates a lot of the guys that are like scammers that would basically come after you for your $1 and $2 cards. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to mind throwing a stamp on something like that. You know what I mean? I can't tell you over the years, especially whenever I was really heavy with the TCG cards, how many people would like, oh, I never received that. And you have no way to prove it if there's literally no tracking. So was huge just all the way around, not only for the people buying the cards, but for the sellers wanting to sell the cards, you know, getting a little bit of protection and peace of mind that, you know, this card will be tracked, or at least, you know, if it's not, eBay's on the hook for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So what do you think? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, after you.
I was going to say, I've been thinking I'm going to make a video on that topic because I haven't seen anyone, and I get a lot of questions about like the how to get refunded as a seller on this plain white envelope program. So I'm going to make a video on it because I think there needs to be one made on it, so that and I don't know if a lot of people have even went through the process. It's so easy to do it too. You do got to screenshot like the order number, and you got to screenshot the message that came in that said item not received. That's it. That's all you got to do. So
we got a question for you.
Is there a price limit where you no longer use the envelope shipping?
$20. If it's, let's say, if I list it for $25, a card for $25, but I'm thinking I'm going to take offers and probably get 15. I'll still do it on that one, those types of cards. Because you know what I mean? But if it's a $50 card, then that's going to be $4.50 shipping. Yeah. So basically $25 is the cutoff if you're accepting offers.
Do you put for like, say your more expensive cards, like if say you have a card that's like 1,000 plus or whatever, do you ever charge more for shipping, like to do like the priority rate to get a little bit more protection for yourself? Or are you pretty comfortable being that it goes through authenticity now on those more expensive ones to just go ahead and first class it?
Yeah, well, I don't first class it. If it's like I still set it at $4.50. But if it sells, like say I sell $300 or $500 card, then I just put it in a small flat rate priority mail and eat $3, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, and add I would even add another $200 of insurance. It still might be $10. So, but it's to me the peace of mind of insuring it properly and getting it sent properly. I don't care about $3 to $5 I'm losing. You see what I'm saying? Sure. But I've also seen that people will literally they won't even bid on it if you got that $10 or $20 shipping up there. You know, in some case, you'll lose some of your buyers or people that are watching it if you try to get them to pay the full shipping. People just hate shipping costs.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's funny, and you know, and you know what I mean. Like I said, you know, Anthony and I have dealt with this for, you know, many years as being resellers of it's $10 with free shipping, or it's $5 and $5 shipping, and people are like, well, hell, I'm buying the one that's free shipping, and it's like it's the same dang price. You know, stuff like that. But what do you think? You know, with the hobby and stuff as we go forward, you know, what are your thoughts on the whole Fanatics? I mean, we found out recently that when you look at the calendar, I know you're not a baseball guy, but we did look at the calendar and release calendar to see that Panini has no baseball. They basically have said they are done. They are out of the baseball market. Now, I know a lot of people don't like it because it doesn't have the logos and everything, but what do you think? What do you think is going to happen as we move forward to where the three major sports are controlled basically by one company?
I mean, I'm excited about Fanatics entering it, and I mean, yeah, because to me, you're starting to hear some of the ideas that they're beginning to think about implementing. Yeah, but it's just in its infancy. I mean, because they're tied in. It's not just the thing about it is I don't look at it like it's just Fanatics, because it's really now the leagues are going to be tied into sports cards because of the players associations that are going to be. So like, just yesterday they announced that they're going to, you know, one of the things, which I mean, a little bit corny, but it's, you know, like there'll be a redemption to get a social media follow from a guy.
Yeah, I
You know
saw
what I
that.
mean? Yeah. So like Trout follows you, you know, that'll probably be like a chaser. You know, kids are like that, you know, stuff like that. But
That is kind of cool.
I think that, like I said, I think that one's kind of corny, but that just shows you the things that could be. It could be a redemption for an in-person signing of a key rookie or something at a, you know, a rookie premiere event or something. You know what I mean? And like a
Yeah.
VIP experience. That could be something in the future you could see in sports cards because, you know, so to me it's Fanatics. The way they structured the deal is they're getting a vested interest by the leagues into sports cards.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I like the idea of the redemption kind of thing going away. I never understood it. You know, like I understand, you know, okay, ooh, this is a 1 out of 10 and everything. To me, what I don't understand is why don't you know what the card is? Why don't you have the player go ahead and just sign him and put him in a vault and have him sitting there? You put him in a safe somewhere in the corner, and then you don't have to worry about number one, you don't have to worry about dates, right? So imagine if you were to pull, I don't know when redemption started, but what if you were to pull, you know, a 1997 redemption card, knowing that you could still get it? It would, you know, it would be awesome. Rather than going,
Yeah.
wow, this would have been a triple patch auto of this Hall of Famer, but all I have is a redemption card because I can't send it in because it's 10 years old.
Yeah, this past year somebody pulled a Jordan one, a Jordan auto redemption.
Oh, really?
And I don't
Oh, wow,
remember
I
the
missed that
outcome.
one.
I don't remember the outcome of it, but you know, I imagine they were pretty upset with that. So
Yeah, that would suck.
yeah, at an
Yeah,
upper deck. You know?
I just wonder, you know, you get one company that has all three. I mean, that's, you know, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting to see, you know, what they do with the market. You know, because
Yeah.
because like, you know, I look, I think it's, you know, are they taking, you know, all of a sudden it's gonna be cool to have Topps Chrome football back and Topps Chrome basketball
man.
back. You
Oh,
know,
I mean
Especially once they have real jerseys.
Yeah, real game used jerseys. They're, you know, and that's the thing, because they're tied into the Players Association, they'll get those. You know, it's like Panini probably has to buy them on the secondhand market to get game used stuff. You know, it's probably why
Wouldn't
they
it be funny if
quit
they're
doing
buying
it.
them from Fanatics?
Probably buying them from Fanatics. You're right, 100%. They are.
Panini has people checking out Ross. And they go get the discounted jerseys, and they go, "Oh crap!
Like
check it out,
Gabriel Brothers,
LeBron jersey, cool man. Hey, let's go."
Well, you know what? Thinking about that, I bet Fanatics even cut them off to set this thing up. They probably, because you know, it's been just the last few years where it's just been silly like that. Like you're saying, they're buying like these from Ross or you know, sporting goods stores, because you know, I would venture to say that could be a possibility that Fanatics cut off selling them any game use stuff.
Yeah,
and that market exploded too. People, you know, like those prices of game use stuff went way up too.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see. I understand the whole. I know they want cards everywhere and stuff like that, so that's gonna be interesting to see how that works and everything. I kind of get that piece. You know, I was surprised by some of the sets that they said they weren't going to make anymore. You know, not like, oh my gosh, that's it, I'm going to boycott them, I'm never going to, you know, buy from them again, you know. But for someone like myself who likes baseball, you know, and likes the fire, likes the gallery brand, I mean, hopefully maybe now that's more like that's an insert card rather than a whole set, because I think those cards are cool looking. I like collecting those cards.
Yeah, that's what Panini did. They cut out a couple brands and put them in what was it, Zenith Zenith got Playbook and a couple brands got cut and they got put in as inserts. So that's probably what they'll do.
Yeah, I mean, I hope, you know, I don't know. It's gonna pricing is the big thing is going to be the pricing part. We have another question here. How often do you pack and ship your sales, daily or weekly?
Daily. You got to do it daily. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, but you're gonna like, feedback would come from that. So a lot of my feedback when you read it, it's blazing fast shipping fast. So yeah, every day I wake up in the morning, I come out, I ship. First thing I do. So, and some days if I see if like throughout the day, if it's looking like it's going to be, if it's pretty busy, I'll go ahead and start picking them the day before, so it
Right.
isn't so much work in the morning. But daily, even on when I can, on if I'm in town on Saturday, I'll ship on Saturday morning, even though it wouldn't be knocked against me as from eBay's metrics or whatever, but 15 to 25 cards every day is the average at present. Sometimes more, but
Now,
it's
do you
very
find
rarely.
you have that in bulk? So, I mean, like, are you starting to get to the point now where you're getting people buying, multiples from you at the same time?
Yeah, it happens, pretty regularly. Yeah, like I said, that Jeter lot. Some guy sent in yesterday. I bought one from this collection. I listed a bunch of Edgar and James rookies, Andre Johnson, and he went in and he picked like 10 of them and sent offers on all of them. And when I see that, like I probably wouldn't accepted the offers on one of the cards, that the offers he was sending. But when I see it's one person, it's almost like when someone comes to my table at a show and they make a stack, I'll make a good deal with them. So when I look and I see it's the same guy, I'm like, okay, and I actually accepted this guy every one of his offers, and it wound up being, I did okay on the cards. But it was, to me, that's an eBay version of a bulk deal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I accepted. I didn't even counter or negotiate because, I was actually very surprised that Edgar and James, who's a Hall of Famer running back, and Andre Johnson, who will be a Hall of Famer. I was like, they sell between $2 to $5 all of their rookies. So I mean, unless you got something special.
Right.
So all his offers came in that range. I was like, yeah, that's fine. You can have them all. And but yeah, it happens. It happens at least 2 or 3 times a week. Some bulk stuff comes in like that.
Yeah, and look, you're in the business of selling them, not collecting them. I mean,
And that's it.
if you're gonna list it, you might as well,
Especially if you have attachment to Edgar and James.
yeah,
Yeah.
No, I mean
I
it's interesting. I like the whole thing. I mean, the thing you're doing and everything, the bulk game and everything. It's like I said earlier, when I saw that video of yours using the Epson, because up to that point, I mean, I really hadn't seen anybody use anything other than the Fuji. When I saw that, I was like, holy cow, this can happen, a little quicker, getting the inventory and having it, ready to go to be able to do it. Because that's the other point, right? I mean, it doesn't really pay to go ahead and get all that stuff if you don't have the cards to use it.
Right.
What would be
yeah.
What would be your advice to somebody like, for example, myself? Like, I will list some cards that are from like the 80s and 90s and maybe even some older, but for the most part, the bulk of the stuff that I'm like buying, sourcing to sell is stuff that's like 2019 to present day. Now, with that being the case, would you still recommend getting like one of the fast, efficient scanners and getting one of the programs like a Car Dealer Pro or something like similar to it? Or like, what would like be your suggestion as somebody who sells a lot of cards? So like somebody has mostly like ultra modern stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I know there's a few guys that now because I'm starting to connect with a lot of different sellers that 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 we all kind of, you can do it however you want, you know what I mean? But you probably not, honestly, because yeah, I mean it's you like the one of these overhead scanner, I would probably use that. I'd pick up one of those and maybe even spend up a little bit more if you
Can
just
you do
didn't want.
multiple cards at once? Like, say, like I'd put out like 20 cards. Would it or even like
It's
5, like a smaller sample size? Like, would it
they,
scan them
they
all, crop them, and stuff?
they do make them, and this one has the capability to do it, but it's not. It just don't work that well. It's called multi-targeting, but this one, like I said, this is a cheap one. The one I got,
Yeah.
I'm gonna eventually upgrade that one, and but it's a good starter one. But like if you weren't gonna get a scanner and you were just wanting to do something, get one of these overhead scanners. Maybe like I said, get a little nicer one. Epson makes one, like another high end one, like $500, and Fujitsu also makes one that is like 600, I think.
Does that overhead have its own light source, or is that something you need to provide?
It's got there's a light. That's the LED light right there.
Cool.
But
yeah,
I also
thought I saw something on there. I wasn't sure.
Sometimes it gives too much of a glare. So like I overlight it with my light that I use for the ring light. I put it where it hangs over it, and then it disperses it where you got even light, and not just that light.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you're not using the Epson scanner for your Chromium cards?
Not on like silver chrome stuff. Like if it's, let me give you some example. Let me hold some up. It's weird. It'll be like I scanned these. These are cool cards. I don't know if you've ever seen these. This is running back royalty. Like they got the round ball royalty in basketball. Yeah. This is running back royalty. Look at this. Check this out. This is all from a collection I bought. I mean, these are there's refractors of these, but there's a bunch of them. These are all LaDainian Tomlinson. They've got Earl Campbell and LT, Jim Brown and LT. But you see, they're silver, right?
Right.
So these ones they just never turn out really good through the Fujitsu type of scanner. So these would be ones. And what I do is I'll try them. I'll try them through there, and then if they just don't look right, I'll remove them from the batch and just set them to the side, and then I'll list them another way. So, but I'm trying to see. Let me show you some stuff. Let's see. For some reason, something like this. This is a WNBA, but these do okay because they're not silver chrome. And I don't know why, if it's got something in the background or something. So yeah, so it's just about you doing it and learning it and seeing it. Like even like these, but sometimes the darker. This is a Brady, but sometimes the darker it gets darker when you scan it. So it's all about like.
So do you not do it because of the way the scan comes out, or because the software won't pick it up?
I mean, it'll always pick it up. It's just about eye appeal, looking at it and saying,
Gotcha.
"All right, that just looks terrible." Like it doesn't look like it's going to be a good listing, because this really comes down to really. It's just like YouTube. I mean, I see you guys do good thumbnails. You got a good thumbnail. I would say it's a little busy. Might be you could work on unbusying it a little bit, making it simpler. That's it. But same thing with listings. It's people just they see your listing and then they look at the image right away. They say I'm looking for 2019 Prism Barry Sanders, and if it's a really sharp, crystal clear picture, they're gonna click on that one probably.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So yeah. Are you a collector also?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Almost to the point where I had to come up, I had to tell myself, if I'm gonna do this, I gotta sell a lot more than collect. So,
I have that problem.
Check it, man. I went on my longest dearth of not buying on eBay, and then I started back. What day? February 16th. I bought And I bought a bunch of Kuechly. So I'm a Panther fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the name of who asked that question.
Dom.
Dom. So I'm a Panther fan, so I collect, not just all Panthers. I used to collect everybody, and I will. I'll try to get a couple good rookies of everybody. But I go back and I collect like Steve Smith, the greats from Panthers, which to y'all aren't great, but to most people, not y'all. But like Kuechly, Steve
Oh
Smith,
yeah.
Senior, Julius Peppers, Sam Mills.
I'll tell
Thomas
you what,
Davis.
Steve Smith has like one of the biggest hearts I've ever seen out of somebody in sports, man. Like just a little guy, but like electric, like
Yeah, and
so
he'll be a
fun.
Hall of Famer too.
Yeah, I mean, what you gotta realize, like you talk about like collecting, like Anthony probably has one of the hugest Isaac Okoro, Dylan Windler, Evan Mobley collections ever.
Who's that?
So
Who's got that?
Anthony.
Yeah,
Anthony,
I collect
okay.
Cavs. Like I'm such a degenerate with it. Like the worse they are, the odds are the more cards I have. Like I have a ton of Anthony Bennett just because he was like one of the biggest busts ever.
Right.
Anderson Varejao. He has a cool
that's my
Anderson
guy.
Varejao blanket.
I do.
Yeah. See, like behind me, that's I could probably lean it a little bit. That
Oh yeah, wow.
I got that signed at a spring training, so that's signed by Kuechly. I got it signed in person. My holy grail is this is my holy grail. This was also this is a mini helmet, but it's signed by Cam and Luke.
Oh, nice.
I got it signed myself. I got pinned on the fence. So when Cam was at his height, when he was at the height, and this was the year after the Super Bowl year, so 2016 training camp, and so when he came over, he didn't come to the fence very often, but when he came, mobs of little kids and they came, and I was at the front of the gate, and I got pinned to the gate, but he came right there, and I said, "Will you sign this, sir?" And,
that's awesome.
So that's a holy grail for me right there. That's one of my favorite things in my collection.
Oh yeah.
Dom says his favorite player is D'Angelo Williams, and I'm a big fan of him too.
Yeah, I collect him too.
Crossover.
And Jonathan Stewart too.
Yep.
Yeah. No, not Sam Darnold though.
No Darnold.
Yeah, I got his damn Jets jersey, man.
Like here's a couple I picked up recently. That's a Kuechly gold rookie, Topps gold.
Oh wow.
Oh nice.
And then that was like a 21, 22. That one's number to 50, Kuechly.
He's super underrated too.
Well, he's if you ever, man, I got an exercise for y'all to do is like baseballreference.com, footballreference.com for stats. You ever use that site?
I use Baseball Reference a lot.
Yeah, they're the same. It's the same company that does it for every sport. But if you go to the footballreference.com and you go to a player, look at his stats, and then go down to the very bottom, it'll show you their Hall of Fame rating or potential. And
really?
Kuechly, he's top 5. He's above Urlacher. So he's going to be in. He's also going to be in the Hall of Fame. They factor in so check this out. So Kuechly won the Defensive Player of the Year. He was 5-time All-Pro. Well, he was All-Pro every year, but first team All-Pro 5 times. He holds the most the single game tackle record. He was the Defensive Player of the Year. He all the accolades. In college, I think he holds the record for most tackles ever in D1 college football too, but at Boston College. It's like he never stopped. He would until just the concussions. So I think he was on pace. We knew, Panther fans knew, like this guy, he was going to be better than Ray Lewis, like for sure. But his career got cut short. But now you're seeing him. You're seeing like he comes on. Like they did an interview with him and Micah Parsons this year. Like they pick a great and then they sit down with a young star coming up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they did that this year with Kuechly. So he's starting to get the respect that around the league. But I think he's a surefire Hall of Famer as well. So that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so I collect Panthers, and then I collect Hall of Famers and Jordan, and so that's my PC.
Nice,
very nice.
Yep.
Were you always a Panthers fan, just like being from the area, or like did you have a team before the Panthers?
Oh yeah,
so
yeah, because I'm old enough. Right, yeah, I'm old enough where I grew up a Buffalo's Bills fan as a kid. You know, the kid team was Bills. You know, them losing the Super Bowl 4 times. Yeah, so that my dreams and goals they're still there. I said I got another team that still never won a Super Bowl. So one day, man. They're all PC stuff. It's all crazy stuff. I mean, it's crazy in the fact that it's PC. Yeah, I'll show you a couple.
He's like, yeah, that 9.5 Mickey Mantle everyone was belly aching about. That's one of them.
All right. So Muhsin Muhammad, he's a Panther great. He was the number 2 to Steve Smith, and that's an on card auto, number 250. Oh yeah. Yeah, so Muhsin Muhammad. Cool.
Rated guy.
It's a DJ Moore Immaculate RPA.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So it's a true 9/99. There's a Cam Black Refractor.
Nice.
Steve Smith auto. This was number 2. Is it numbered? No, I don't know. I don't think it is.
That's a nice looking card.
Yeah.
There's a Brian Burns Snakeskin. This one's 1 of 88.
Nice.
Number 1?
It's number 1, yeah.
That's very cool.
I like those number 1 cards out of whatever.
Right.
I always like the first and the last. Like, or jersey number, obviously. But yeah.
First and last or jersey number, yeah, those 3. Anytime you can get your hands on any of those. And then the last one I'll show, I think, is this is a really cool set. Topps Finest. The refractors. That's Thomas Davis.
Oh, nice.
Who, and this one's numbered. It's a refractor numbered to 299. So I think it's a blue.
I love those Finest sets.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Is that 03 or is that 04? What year is that?
05.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I have like a similar looking LeBron like in one of his earlier career Cavs uniforms in that same type of Finest.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm also a DJ Moore super collector too. I forgot to say that. But I quit buying. I mean, like if I get them in a deal at a show or a bulk deal, because I can't go out there and spend all this money on personal collection stuff. But if I can get it, if I can work it into a deal, I'll get it. Like I got some of his cooler rookies. I got like a 101 gold vinyl Contenders Optic 101 gold vinyl auto, on card auto, one of the cooler DJ Moore rookies.
Oh yeah.
And I got like some cool RPAs of DJ Moore, like jersey numbered. Like I got a tie-dye select tie-dye jersey number that's got like this crazy Panther patch in it, So yeah, so definitely a collector, but like I said, I've had to temper it way down to make this thing a full-time thing. But when I buy these collections, I usually keep 1 or 2 cards for the personal collection. If there's something in there that if I can still sell everything, make good margins, and keep something, I'm always looking to try to keep something. I'm always going to be a collector.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, what were your parameters? Like, just making sure there's enough meat on the bones, and then if it's like obviously like a Panther or like a player that you like really covet, you'll try to squirrel them away for yourself.
I do that a lot of times at shows. That's where I can do it more than in a collection, because a lot of times in a collection it'll be whatever they got in the collect. You know what I mean? It is a great added bonus if there's something that I really like. But usually in the collection it will be like some Hall of Famer that I don't have maybe a rookie of, or like I'm trying to get like trying to get some good vintage rook. You know, I don't have a lot of big vintage rookies, you know, but like of Mays, Aaron, Mantle, and even basketball, you know, Dr. J, Larry Bird, Magic, you know, all I want to get like you know, a good rookies of all the Hall of Famers, but I usually settle on like something later year, 2 years in, and then I'm working back to get something
Work
better.
backwards.
So when I get a better one, I'll sell the other one.
Makes sense.
Yeah. We kind of talked about this earlier of what I look for in the collections. It's usually try to look at not prospects. It'll be more like I'm more intrigued if it's full of Hall of Famers and or retired players, but cool cards of Hall of Famers and retired cards and retired players, I should say.
Is there a specific avenue you like to source at, like whether that be like a Facebook marketplace or a group or like live in person or a shop or any of those places?
All
or?
of the above.
Yeah, I'm the same
anywhere, everywhere. It never like everyone wants to find the magic trick, but it just isn't one. Like you got to be active, you know. Like you said, sometimes I'll run across somebody and I haven't bought anything on Facebook, not marketplace, even like a group, like where I haven't bought anything in a Facebook group for a long, long time, and then all of a sudden this one guy I time it right, I go to a Facebook group and the guy had just posted it 10 minutes ago, selling my collection, taking offers. All right, then I start DMing them. That actually happened one time. And I got a good collection of some Kobe's. And actually, one of the Kobe Bryant rookies I got in my PC came from a collection like that, where a guy had, I think, a friend of his sold him a collection, and he was just moving. He kept what he wanted from it, and he moved the rest of it, you know. And then I bought a collection that way. I have bought on Facebook Marketplace, but most of your stuff on that, 95% of it, probably a higher percentage, is mostly junk wax stuff, and or just people that are just really ignorant to the hobby. They don't understand the hobby. They just, oh, I got cards, I'm going to put them on Facebook Marketplace. And it's hard to get good deals on Facebook Marketplace. And it could be, you know, area specific. You might be in an area where there's some good stuff, but I'm in Charlotte. There's lots of dealers, so it was very hard to get stuff off Facebook Marketplace because it's like sharks. You know, everyone's looking for it.
Sure.
It's hard to get it here, and where I'm at now, it's rural, but it's all junk wax and or it's not good. I was thinking I might would get here and I might luck up and get some vintage stuff for some old guys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's what surprised me. You mentioned Apex earlier, and I've watched some of his stuff and everything. He's like, oh yeah, I bought a 500,000, you know, card collection or a million card collection. It's like, man, God bless you for being able to find that. But I'm northwest of Atlanta. So I'm not that far from where you were from. Actually, last week I was in Lexington, North Carolina, hanging out at High Rock Lake. And you know, I look Facebook Marketplace. Am I on there every hour on the hour? No. But I will tell you right now, I have never seen one of those types of things, you know, show up, you know, or even, you know, hear about it or anything like that in the area. You know, you going to like the local card shops or anything like that, or a local show. You don't even hear about people finding that stuff in this area.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know if I walked up and all of a sudden guy said, hey, I got 500,000 cards. Let's make a deal. I'm like, okay. You know, I wouldn't even know where to start to try and figure out how you make an offer on something like that.
And usually that's the hardest part is like sometimes people will post and, you know, post their stuff, but they don't even and won't even come up with a number. It's so hard people to come up with a number. What was I going to say? Oh, but I have also gotten, starting to get, you know, viewers of the channel and stuff like that. They, you know, I bought a few things, a couple small collections of people on the channel and stuff like that. So that's one of the benefits of having social media and YouTube too. You know what I mean? But nothing on the level of like baseball card collector, investor, dealer. He makes that his full. That's most of his deals come through that.
Yeah.
His stuff, and he sits there when he does his breakdowns and everything. I'm like, holy cow! Just it's crazy. But to your point, as you grow and you get more of a reputation, and you also are not trying to screw people, right? You're
Right.
giving them a fair offer. Next thing you know, you wind up getting recommended. Hey,
Correct.
I
Yeah.
dealt with
Yeah.
this guy before. He was fair. He was quick. He came. He got it. Give him a call and stuff like that. And you get that type of stuff happen. For you.
The word of mouth is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Just
And get connected. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, as far as like your store goes, have you ever tried putting like cards or like thank you notes in like with any of your orders? And if so, have you found like you're getting more people following your store or transferring over to like your Instagram or your YouTube or any of like those other avenues you'd like to kind of convert those customers to?
I don't know. I mean, I don't do it on a regular basis. Over Christmas, I was writing handwritten notes, but I was cranking it up too. That was when I was getting started, and I was getting excited too because stuff was starting to roll, and I was like, and it was Christmas. You get in that spirit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was writing handwritten notes then, but I should. And even when I go to shows, I always think about I should have something, and I just always forget to actually do it. But I mean, it might be helpful. It could be helpful. I think end of the day, I've got some the guys that come back are the guys that are building these sets of these vintage. Those are the ones that come back.
Yeah.
They'll buy a card or two this week. Next week they'll come back. They'll buy another card or two. So I think it's more of just having the inventory. Having what people want. Really, I think all those other things are great, but I don't think they're going to drive your business. I think even like with YouTube, like if I try to make a video too much about myself in a video, they don't do well. If I make them about the cards, they do well.
Yeah.
When you're selling, it's about the cards you got. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, to your point, I mean, you either have to, really look at what it is, like when you're trying to sell, look at what you're doing and everything. Like to your point, you know, base cards, from, the 90s or the late 80s, or it might be, wow, it's so easy to list. I just put it in the scanner and it'll go, and so on and so forth. Yeah, you're right. But is somebody going to pay you, $2 for that card?
Right.
That's really worth 10 cents, if that much.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can find, the more you stay in the hobby, the longer you stay in, the more you learn, keep learning, learn iconic sets. And when you see those sets, like there's some iconic sets. I'll give you a low key one. Okay, here's one that a lot of people pass it over. It's a good chance you see it. You might even see it at shows, even in like maybe vintage dealers will know about it. But like '86 Topps football, that thing about half the set is rookies.
Really?
Seriously, like there's so many rookies, so many Hall of Fame rookies in there. Bruce Smith.
That's a
Not
Jerry
just
Rice here, correct?
Everyone knows Jerry Rice, but look at that
Yeah.
set and look at how many rookies are in that set. It's the green and white tops. I mean, I'm telling you, because I did list all of that, all the commons, I've been selling through that one, slowly but surely. But I was just crazy because when you do like that, that's a set that almost Car Dealer Pro finds every one of them. And if that's one of those years, old school years where, and even all vintage, it don't say rookie card on it, right? So, but it'll show up on Car Dealer Pro. It shows you this is a rookie card of, this guy. So when I uploaded it, I was like, holy crap! Like half of this set is like rookies. So
Yeah, just in key rookies, like I just looked it up on Cardboard Connection, like Jared Rice, Steve Young, Reggie White, Boomer Esiason, Andre Reed, Bruce Smith. Like, and those are just like the first few that the like thing rattles off.
Oh wow.
Yep. And like every one of those, like, William Perry, Refrigerator Perry, his rookie, because I've sold two of them. I just sold one the other day, a miscut. It was half his face and half of some other player's face, and it sold for $5.
Oh wow,
that's really cool.
Yeah. So it's so many rookies of 86 tops, unbelievable. But so that year, then another like the 03, 04 tops, LeBron, like the tops or tops chrome, all those there's set builders of that. The 96, 97 Kobe year, in it, like those sets, tops or tops chrome, you can get those. People buy commons of those. The Jordan 86 and 80, 86, 87 Fleer, and the next second year had all of those rookies in it too, with Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, John Stockton, and again, you don't know the rookies because they don't got the rookie logo on it. So there's some sets out there that if you're keen to the hobby, young bucks are going to pass it right by, like they're not even going to know it's there. And a bunch of Hall of Fame rookies.
Yeah, those are some phenomenal sets too, and like those are some sets that like I even see like cards of players that I don't even know graded too. Like, like for example, 86 Flair. That's a really collectible, like gradable set.
The
like,
commons are
yeah.
If you could find commons from 86, 87 Fleer, man, and they're in good condition, you can grade every one of them. And some of them sell, if they 9 or 10, they could sell for $30,000. If they 10,
crazy. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Wow, I did not know that.
I'm gonna have to go through and look up some of my like old like 86 Flair Cleveland Cavalier cards and see if I can get a high grade. So I know for a fact I have some, just because it was like, okay, that's Jordan's rookie year. This is the closest I'm gonna get. Let me go ahead and get some crappy Cavaliers players.
Maybe you'll find that binder one day also, Anthony.
God, I hope so. Yeah, like I was telling Michael, I have a binder somewhere. When I was a kid, I was like obsessed with Kobe Bryant. So like his rookie year, I went like balls to the wall going after him, Iverson, a bunch of guys. But I had like one of those like 9-page binders of like the first 9 pages in the binder was just that upper deck rookie card of him with like the sunglasses on his head like this. And then like literally like every card I could think of from his rookie year, second year, third year was just like every Kobe I could get my hands on. I was just throwing them in this binder, and somewhere in my mom's house, this binder exists, but I feel like it's like nowhere to be found. I've been looking for this thing for like years, but like once I find it, it's like, okay, now I'm set for life. Just because I was like a degenerate collecting Kobe his first 3 years.
Yeah, who knows? You might have some refractors or something. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have anything like super wild, but like a ton of base and like just stuff I would get out of packs, like just ripping.
Yeah.
Back then, his stuff really wasn't that valuable, because he was the number 13 overall pick. Like, he wasn't like, obviously he was a Lakers, so that made him a little collectible, but like he wasn't, expected to be as good as he was.
Well, of course not. He was an 18-year-old kid, from Philadelphia. Everybody was like, yeah, whatever.
What about you, Michael?
But it should have told you something. There should have been something. If Jerry West is going to make a trade for you, it should have told everybody, hey, this kid might be something here. The logo went after him.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, he was probably every bit as good of a front office person as he was like an actual basketball player too, which is scary when they basically made the logo after him based on his basketball career. But yeah, I mean, front office wise, like he was a huge part of like even the Lakers dynasty, beyond his playing days and everything like that, just building, some of those players.
Well, we've had Jason for way longer than than I'm sure he thought he would be hanging out here, so we'll go ahead.
Thank you so much, man.
Wrap it up.
It's been awesome.
It has been great. I mean, it's given it's inspired me to go ahead and, really, you know, look deeper into it and see about, oh, there's a blast from the past, Jennifer Hayes.
Jennifer?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see her because I'm on the huddle thing. She must be on the Goomba.
Yeah.
What's up, Goomba peoples?
But yeah, I mean, inspired to go ahead and look deeper into it. Figure out that scanner and everything. Just, get a little more organized. But I think I'm definitely, gonna look to do it and stuff. I mean, my son is into the hobby also. He has a bunch, so it's not like, he'll be able to, you know, uh, you know, get use out of it also. So it's not like, just sit around and everything. So
They'll
and
probably teach you,
yeah. I mean,
That's
I looked online to see if there are any, used ones because I wasn't sure. Hey, so on and so forth, and everything, but couldn't find, the one you had, and I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there are other ones, but watching someone who uses that one versus just saying, well, this one is kind of sort of looks like it. Let me get
taking a
that
shot in the
one.
dark. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather go with one that, I know somebody has used. So, again,
Just saying, I know a guy with an
thanks a lot.
affiliate link for those scanners. Let me
Oh, yeah,
redrop those for anyone
all
who's
my videos got a link to it on Amazon. But
I just
yeah.
redropped them for you. So anyone interested, all three of the scanners we talked about, whether it be the cheaper Epson model, the Fujitsu, which is the more expensive model, or even that overhead one that we had discussed, all three of them are linked there. So if anyone wants to look a little further into those, like I said, it does go to help JMac channels. So
yeah, and I think there's probably, I would say there's probably been like a 70-30 split. Like 30% of the people who have gotten it didn't like it and they returned it. And then a lot of people were they every video I drop, man, it's been a life changer. It's been a life changer. So so it's, there's gonna be, you might like it, you might not. That's the thing, but for me, like I said, for the budget and for what I'm able, and mine, I mean, now I've ran 10,000 cards through it. It's still going strong. There's no, because I know inside there's like a mirror, like it can get scratched. Even Fujitsu, they all got them.
Right.
So there's these internal parts that when you're using them in volume, there's some stuff that can get with Fujitsu or this Epson or any of them. You can there's going to come probably a time where I have to replace this one, right? So. But I mean, I say that to say that so far, man, it ain't slowed down not one bit. It's, chugging right along, it's doing fantastic. So, because that's what the one guy who I respect, who's got about 25-30,000 listings, he got this first, and then he uses the Fujitsu, but he also only does paper stock cards with any of these scanners. He doesn't use it. Like I use it for a lot more versatility. That
Would
guy
that be
only
Bo?
does.
Would that be Bo? 1 million Cubs?
Not him. No. This is he's not on YouTube. He's on YouTube. I met him through Twitter.
Very cool.
But yeah. But so like I said, so he said that it didn't stand up for him, or it didn't hold up for him. The Epson. It's held up nicely for me so far, but we'll see how it goes. You know what I mean?
Well,
I think even at the price point, I
from
think I'd get another one if it went down rather than get a Fujitsu.
Sure. Well, I look at it from my standpoint of it, is that in reality, for me right now, the Fujitsu, forget that, like even, the price is the price. I understand that part, but I'm thinking from a standpoint of, it does me no good to have one that can do, whatever, 1,000 cards in an hour, because I still have a full-time job. So it's not like I really can sit here and, and do
Lift
that
that man.
much and, and have to,
Right.
and, to fulfill everything that you sell and so on and so forth. So I have to, baby step, grow to where I can handle it while while I have all my other commitments and everything.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's time consuming, that's for sure. Yeah, yeah. Even like really just once you get them scanned and get them in um, Card Saver Pro or what the program, you gotta go through and check them and make sure all the players are right. It takes time. It 100% takes time. Even
Yeah.
for Jitsu, like they're saying that, but honestly, in all reality, like you said, you can scan 1,000, but you still got to somehow get those things listed with whatever program you're using. So
Right.
it don't happen magically.
Okay, I hear you loud and clear. But you know, thank you very much. I mean,
Yeah.
any last words you want to say to anybody watching or anybody who's um, going to watch the replay and stuff like that? Floor is yours.
Yeah, no, I appreciate Anthony reaching out, and it's good to meet you, and to be here with your audience, and hoping you guys good success in the future, and see you grow, and yeah, maybe like I said, we return the favor, have you over on my channel, and I'm on every platform is JMac Sports Card. So yeah, just if you want to get in contact or show any kind of support, that would be how to do it, is subscribing or hit me up on Instagram or whatever. So yeah, no, it's been cool seeing the how, because I think this is sort of a underground. Everyone was talking about flipping sports cards on slabs, and then when I started, what I learned when I started doing this reseller content was like, man, most of people that consume content are also in some way a reseller, right? So it just wasn't being highlighted. So I think
Yeah.
I'm been helpful in giving a you know platform where, because in the comment section there's a bunch of people that are commenting about reselling. So it's kind of cool. In other words, it's been cool to see this side of the sports card community that I didn't even know existed. Lots and lots of resellers.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like for a while there it was so like frowned upon to like admit like, yeah, I resell sports cards, or like I'm buying these cards to like profit off of them or whatever. But when it comes down to it, like literally everybody does that. Like any vendor,
Yeah.
literally like they're selling cards that they bought at some point. You know what I mean? So it's like hard
Yeah.
not to resell cards and like be in it. I mean, it's for me, that's how I build my collection, is just via like most of like my eBay stuff. I give myself like a weekly allowance. Okay, Anthony, you can spend this much on cards because you sold this much on cards or whatnot.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and I
It's
think
all.
we find out that there are more people like us than there are the Jeff Wilsons and the card collector twos and those guys that make these massive deals, and buy, yeah, they're like, you might spend $1,000, when you go sourcing, you're getting collection. You look at some of these other guys, they spend $1,000 and they get 6 cards.
2 cards. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's good to see that there are more of the. I hate to call us low ends because I don't think that's what it is, but I mean, it's that other section of the hobby that seems to not get looked at the same way. It's like, 'cause if you're not flashing me that $50,000 card, but the truth is not a lot of people are going out there and dropping 50K on a card.
Yeah.
There's a
Let's
lot of
call it.
people spending $5 on a card.
Let's call it budget conscious. Not
Yeah.
there you go. Not budget conscious people. There's a lot of us, right?
Yep. Well, again, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
you
guys.
giving us your time. Can't say thank you enough. It's been a great experience. Learned a lot. Looking forward to continue to watch you grow and see what more cool stuff you do, and continue to learn from you from this journey.
Yeah, this is
Anthony,
fantastic. Yeah, as far as me, guys, if you could come over, subscribe to Picksburgh, because next week's episode will be over on my channel as we alternate. Also, we'll announce the next giveaway winners for anyone that wants to either come to the Pittsburgh Card Show, or if you're in the area and you'd like tickets, leave a comment on this video. Michael, is there anything specific you want them to say, or just anything?
Put hashtag Pittsburgh Show.
Cool. So hashtag Pittsburgh Show in the comment section, guys. Again, we have several free tickets to give away. So hashtag Pittsburgh Show. And then if you want to say how many you need, that way we can kind of plan for that. Next week, we'll announce on my channel who won. And again, if you're watching from last week, we pulled 2 winners. That was Art Mansuko and Gate City Paul. So both you guys won for you and your party's free tickets.
And with that, thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate the heck out of each and every one of you. Don't forget, come on back, and we'll see you guys next week.